What's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mina and I make videos every Fridays, and today's video is going to be another video of my top 5 series. If you haven't watched any of these videos that I've been making for this series, where I speak about my top 5 favorites or favorite formulas or colors or whatever of a specific makeup category, then I will link the other two down below and up above. I have done blushes and I have done highlighters, and today I am going to be doing eyeshadows. I know I did a video where I talked about my top 5 or my top 10 favorite eyeshadow formulas, but today I wanted it to be a little bit more difficult and I narrowed it down to top 5. And these are my top 5 eyeshadow palettes where I cannot live without, where I will repurchase immediately, where I will take them if I'm going somewhere or if I have something to go to, like a function or whatever, and I need to look poppin', and I know I'm going to look poppin' if I wear these. These are the ones I would go to. I trust them, I know how to work with them, I know how they go on, so these are the ones that I trust absolutely 100%, cannot live without. So these are in no particular order. It's not like 1 2 3 4 5 or 5 to 1. These are just my top 5 and I would not be able to live without any of them. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about my most recent favorite, and it is the ColourPop Nude Mood palette, and this is what it looks like. So it's just an everyday neutral palette, but these shades are out of this world. The shades Put on Airs, this one in the middle right here, is gorgeous. The one Wink Wink right here is beautiful. This one kind of has a little bit of shimmer in it. This one and this one, these two. I don't mind it. These blend like a dream. I tested this out in one of my other videos that I will link down below and up above. And I will also link all of these in the description, all these palettes. This is what it looks like, and I know it doesn't look impressive, but trust me, on the eyes it just looks beautiful, and I love these shades so much. This is a beautiful palette that you could get to somebody who is just getting into makeup, or who is a beginner, or who needs a palette that's more of like an everyday palette, or like a travel palette, or if they need a staple in their collection, this one is perfect for that. And yeah, I just really love this one. This one is one of my favorites. It became one of my favorites after the very first use, so it's just very good, and I definitely recommend it for anybody who's thinking about getting it, and it's actually really affordable for an eyeshadow palette of this quality. Next is going to be the Zoeva Caramel Melange, which I'm wearing on my eyes today. I know it doesn't look like anything special, and for some reason people really don't like the Zoeva formula and nobody really talks about it, but I love this formula so much, and I love these colors so much. This color right here, where is it? This one, which is Almost Burnt, is my favorite gold shade of all time. It blends like a dream. It is so beautiful. It's so incredible. These shades right here are all matte, and these ones are all like shimmers. And I've talked about this palette multiple times, and ever since then I've just seen slander, straight up slander towards the Zoeva name, and I refuse, because they have quality eyeshadows and eyeshadow brushes. So I honestly don't know why we don't talk about them enough, and why people are just hating on Zoeva, because I love them. So their shadows may be a bit crumbly, but in my opinion they're some of the best. I've worn these in multiple of my videos before, and they always never let me down. I know how to work with this palette. It's so blendable, super easy to work with. It's not too powdery like the Anastasia formula, and I just love her so much. And I love the packaging, and they have different palettes and different color schemes and different moods, and I just love this so much. This is the only Zoeva palette that I have, but I definitely wasn't disappointed in it. I've had this for literal years, and I believe this brand is German. Yeah, German. And I just love this palette so much. It's one of my favorites. I definitely recommend if you're looking for a new neutral everyday palette that's good for beginners. This is it. It's super easy to blend, super easy to work with. The colors are just so beautiful, and I love this palette, and I wish people would talk about it more and give it a shot. So let's talk about the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, round 1. So this is what it looks like. Mine has been loved, used, and abused. I love this palette so much. I use this palette all the time. I trust this palette with my whole life. I love this palette. I think this palette is one of the best things that came out of Morphe, believe it or not. And I even appreciate this over my James Charles palette, which I never use. But when I first got this one, I was using it all the time before Jaclyn was like Jaclyn, and the way she is now. But I love this palette so much that I even bought 2 of these and gave one of them to my sister. because I just feel like everybody needs to try this formula. I think this is one of the best things to come out of Morphe. And it's sad because I feel like people don't really talk about this anymore, but I think it is so good, and so we need to talk about it more because it's just like it was a cultural reset. And the shadows in here are super versatile, super easy to use, very good for travel. You literally have everything from a white to a black. You have greens, you have blues, you have reds, you have neutrals, everything you could ever need. Sure, it looks like there are a couple of repeats in here, like the transition shades, but honestly you can't have too many transition shades. And I remember when this came out, it has a very special place in my heart, and I literally, it was a cultural reset towards me and my love for makeup, and I did not question whether I wanted this. I immediately put it in my cart the day it was released. While I was at work checking out people at the register, I was checking out this, so I was down for this, and I love it still to this day as much as I did when I got it. I don't use it enough anymore because I have so many, but the love is still deep in my heart, and I still love her, and I still appreciate her and everything that she's done. And yeah, I love her. She's everything. I'm never giving her up, and I hope they didn't change the formula, because if I were ever to repurchase it, I want the original formula, not the new one. Let's talk about the thing that everybody talks about in every video, and the one that I always mention in every eyeshadow video that I make, because the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette was a cultural reset. Like this, if you were around when this came out, you deserve a veterans discount, because the beauty community was not as big as it is now when this first came out. This was the first of its kind. Look at mine. It is loved and abused. I love her. Used and abused. Battered and bruised. I love her. She's everything. She's all the tones that I could ever want. The color Love Letter and Venetian Red are my favorite colors in any palette ever. This was the first one that I ever purchased. I would repurchase it again if I lost it. Immediately, without questions asked, I would buy this and be really upset, because this was like one of the first ones that I bought, one of the first high-end palettes that I bought. I remember I bought the Naked 3 palette, and then I bought this one. But I hated the Naked 3 and I loved this one, and I was just so intimidated by it, and I wore it for my 18th birthday, so I have a lot of emotions and nostalgia attached to it. But I love her so much. I've had this one for 5 years. I've had this for 5 years, almost 6, and I honestly love it as much as I did the very first day that I got it. It still inspires me. I love the packaging. It's super important to me in my makeup journey, and honestly I'm talking about these like they're a lifeline. But I just love this palette so much. I love the color scheme. I love everything. I still get excited when I look at it. The shimmers aren't as great as they used to be when I first got it, because it's old now, and I'm pretty sure it's expired. But I'm never giving this one up. Even if I buy a new one, this is gonna stay with me, because this just has so much sentimental value to me, and I just love her so much. And last but certainly never least is the Desi Katy Dose of Colors Friendication palette. This is cruelty-free, gluten-free, paraben-free, and this is my favorite palette of all time. I wear this all the time. I wear this to any and everything that I have to go to, any function. You will see me either with Modern Renaissance or this one. This is what it looks like. Look at the colors. Look at the color scheme. They just ain't never doing it like this ever. This color right here, incredible. This color right here, incredible. These transition shades are everything I could ever want. I want to do a look with this one so bad, but I still haven't gotten the chance to. Like these 4 right here, I'm just too scared to use, but these ones right here are everything when you want a neutral look to just pop off. Like this one looks like liquid gold on your eyes, bro. It's insane. I wore this to the Travis Scott concert, where we were sitting outside from like 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. And it looked as good as new. I wore the color Just a Kiss, which is, I believe, what it's called. Yeah, and it is my favorite color of all time. Any party I go to, anywhere I want to look good and I know I'm going to be glistening in the light, this one as a topper or as a shadow on its own is incredible. I love this palette so much. This was a cultural reset for me, and I just love this. I remember when it was released, I bought it on the first release when it launched, because I just wanted it so bad, and the formula still never ceases to amaze me. Like, it's still just as amazing as it was when I first got it, and I just have so much love for this palette. I always feel inspired by it, and every time I see Desi or Katy wearing this, my heart just like beats a little faster. And I just love this palette so much. I think it's still in stock. I'm not sure if it is. I'll link it down below, because I definitely think everybody should have at least one of these. There's a reason why it's so hyped and everybody loves it. Everybody that has it just absolutely raves of it. There's a reason for that. It's just some of the smoothest eyeshadows I've ever worked with. There is a little bit of fallout out. With both of these, the shadows are a little bit more powdery. This one more powdery than this one for sure, but this powder level is insane. But this one is just so easy to work with, so easy to blend for a beginner or for a professional. I think this is definitely something you need in your collection, and I just love this so much, and I can't rave enough about it because it's so close to my heart, and the color scheme is just so beautiful, and it makes great for ASMR videos, which I will link down below and up above because shameless plug. Let me know down below what category I should do next. I'm not really sure. I think at this point I've done everything that I could do. Maybe face palettes, because why not? But yeah, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Let me know down below if you agree with my opinions, if you have any of these palettes and what you think about them, or if you think I missed one. Let me know down below what you think should be included. If you want one where I do a drugstore, just drugstore eyeshadow palettes and high-end eyeshadow palettes, let me know, because I feel like that'll also be interesting. Or if you want me to split them like that, let me know. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember to keep your head, heels, and standards high, and to treat people with kindness. And I'll see you guys again next week with another video. Bye, you guys.